How to install an nGauge in your 2015 Mustang. So the first thing you'll want to do is take off the interior trim on the right side. And then pull this piece out. Carefully, there are clips. They may break on some cars.
Light touch and a tender hand is all you need. Just gotta wiggle every corner.
Once you have the right side loose, you'll want to get the middle part out. Once it is unclipped, go ahead and remove. And if this is a performance pack car with gauges, there will be a wire right there. You'll just have to unplug that.
What you do is there's two parts to the AC vent. You're going to want to take this tab and pull it back while pushing these two tabs in and down. So you will pull and push and it will move forward. You do the exact same thing on this side. You pull this one back, push these two in, and then it will push out like so. And you have yourself a fully intact vent. So with the first panel out, you then are able to unclip the second panel here. You don't need to disconnect this fuse, just let it be as is. Come around to the left, pop off two tabs, one here and one here, the upper steering column, and this piece will remain loose for you to put more cord through. Continue on left and loosen these two nuts here after taking this cover piece off. Sits just like that. Two tabs, left and right, and then you'll be able to get this piece loose to then thread this wire through to the center console. So we ran into one more technical difficulty. Originally we had thought just these two and this would come out, but what you also have to do is take this screw and loosen this piece so you can bend it up and then get these two tabs to clear so it falls right out. But now we have the clearance to get the wire through around steering column and down up through and into the center gauge.
So we went ahead and wrapped the nGauge in double-sided adhesive. This is just standard double-sided adhesive that I got off of Amazon. You can probably get it from a regular store. I actually am not going to pull off the adhesive strips because all this actually does is just makes the nGauge thicker so it can fit in there kind of like a glove, and you can go ahead and tap on the rear, and this is actually not going to come out. So that's actually going to work perfectly to fit right there in the middle. So you can go ahead and route that wire through the very corner right there.
Something to notice though.
Fit right there.
Check this out. So you're going to see how this has two tabs. You want to loop it through the bottom and then snake it through to the top so that these two tabs can have the room to clear the wire when you snap it back in. So below and then above, and then you can clip right in. But we got to make sure we got other clearance before we snap it all.
And then we have the wire right here.
But basically, if you can see here, we looped all the wire and placed it into this cavity right above the second bolt and right below the bottom bolt that holds this whole apparatus into the car. Basically, it's actually in there perfectly and it's just looped.
And we used some tape to hold the binding, the loop of the wire together.
Right, we did adhesive tape. So that's actually in there perfect. And now we just need to put our screws in, and then we plug into the OBD2, this little guy, and it's a clean install.
We have all the interior snapped back in on the driver's side. Now we can go ahead and install our dash piece. Make sure our wire is through. And go ahead and snap this in place. Goes in a lot easier than it came out. And now we're snapped into place. Then we got one more piece.
Time for the grand finale.
Since we use adhesive to make the nGauge thicker, we actually don't need a ring or would need the adapter part to the back of it. So we can actually, by just putting this adhesive in there, it made the nGauge thicker. So we can simply plug in, verify that it works. There it is. And go ahead and put it in place. The benefit of using that adhesive there is we can actually pull it out at any time. And now it's mounted flush, and we can go ahead and start the car.